This is your host, Scott. Hope you had a great Easter weekend. It's been pretty stormy here, but other than that, it's been a great weekend, nice, relaxing weekend. Hope you were able to do the same. I want to talk to you a little bit tonight about what happened last week, kind of where we are, just taking a look at where we are so far since this drop and since this year began. Just going to kind of share some information about my portfolios and where I'm at and what we've done. Also going to talk about what happened Friday or Thursday, and then we'll talk about what's going on in the markets tonight, and kind of get our game plan together for this week. And so let's go ahead and take a look. Cut over to our scene where we can take a look at. Let's go ahead and take a look at our portfolio, and let's get over there to that. All right, so here's the portfolio. As you can see, Friday, I keep saying Friday, but it was Thursday. Thursday, we did have a pretty good day. Got a lot of green here. Only had a couple of red ones, and they were just barely red. That would be our Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, as well as our Novavax. Novavax was slightly off after having such a good day and a good week. As you can see, it kind of sold off at the end of the day here. But other than that, we had a pretty good day. The market was up 285 points. And we had, it was up 1.22%. So our ETFs kind of in line with that. And so we see here, big winner for Thursday would have been MPC, and actually Cliff would have been the big winner, but MCC had a good day, up 5%, as well as Cliff up 6%. So MPC got some news on the oil. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So maybe that will be turning around here, but it's way down in the dirt. EXAS has made a pretty good comeback over the last few months, but we'll take a look at that here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and talk about something else here. Wanted to kind of just talk to you a little bit about, what we did last week as far as pocketing money. I talked about that. The two things that I look at is pocketing money, and then you got to look at your portfolio kind of separate because of the way the market goes up and down all the time. That pocketing money to me is as important as anything, because that means you're making some good trades. Those are trades that you pocketed. They can't take that away from you until you reinvest it again. So that's something I like to. I really pay probably more attention to that than I do my portfolio going up and down, especially with a year like this year. But so let's talk about that. Let's go over and take a look at a little bit of data I want to show you here. Let me go ahead and pull this up for us. You can see here I just pulled together some last week information about pocketing, and count one would be one of my IRAs that we have here. We did sell some things. We sold SPY last week. We sold Novax last week. We sold DIA last week. If you see here, the gain for the SPY was 4.08%, and that was the oldest shares we had were from 3.9. So you're talking about a 1 month period, we made 4% over our money. That's a pretty good return in anybody's book. Novavax now, that's not a misprint. That was a 317% return. The oldest shares I had there were from December. So that was quite the gain there. That doesn't happen a whole lot, but that's always nice to have one like that. Novavax is, and that's just some shares we've been holding. So we've sold plenty of shares already this year. Novavax has been a big winner for me this year, and so I'll show you how that's affected the portfolio later. But DIA, and sometimes that's all it takes is one stock to do that for you. So DIA here is up 4.75%. and we only had that since 4/1, so almost a little bit more than a week. So that's pretty good turnaround there for that. Account number 2, we did make a couple sales there. Sold some Novavax in that one for 18.96% gain, and that was in a 1-day turnaround. We bought that on 4/6, and actually I think we sold it on 4/7. So that was a pretty good turnaround in that short period of time. SPY, that's one I did get rid of at 1.63% gain since 3/9. Again, the reason being there, I wanted to go ahead and get some of that cash to the sideline. So that was something I wanted to do, is to get that cash on the sideline. It's always important to have cash on the sideline. Now we're sitting in the portfolios now at about a 30% cash rate. So we're ready for any kind of drop that might happen. We still got plenty of stocks in the portfolio that we need to go up. They're down. So all this is good information I'm showing you, and good numbers. But we've got plenty that we're holding that is down still. But just because you have some down stocks, it doesn't mean your portfolio's down. It doesn't mean you haven't been making good trades. So keep that in mind as well. So let's go back to our other scene here. There we go. All right, so here it is. Our spreadsheet's here. So far, we are up off the lows in both portfolios. We're up off the low from 323 of this year. We're up 24.74% in that shorter period of time. So that's just been, what, almost a month, maybe 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, we have gained this much back, 24.74%. Actually, the portfolios are up 5.67% for the year. So we're actually in the green again for the year. I was having a pretty good year before the fall anyway, but now we're back up to, we are over in the green for the portfolios, 5.67. So that's good. Dow last week, compare that to the Dow was up 12.67% last week, which was a great week for the Dow. But for the month, it's still down 5.19%. For the 3-month period, we're looking at a 17% loss, and year to date, the Dow is down 16.89%. Now, you compare that to this here, the portfolios, that's a 21% difference. So we're beating the Dow by 21% in the portfolios this year. So that's awesome. That's always a good thing. So we're happy with that. That's something that we're always shooting for. We're always shooting to beat the Dow. We're always shooting to beat CDs, to beat any other kind of investment. When you start turning things around in days with even 1.3%, I mean that beats a CD. A CD is going to pay you about 2%, 2.2% for a year right now. So that's always your goal. You want to beat those things, those CDs, the Dow, the S&P. That should be your goal. One of your goals that you said is try to outdo the market. There's another thing that I keep an eye on. It's called the Dodge and Cox Fund. It's something that my wife's money was in prior to me taking it out of that fund and managing it myself. And I keep an eye on how well I do compared to that fund. And we are beating the socks off of that thing. Now it was pretty close there right before the fall. We were beating it, but we are now just beating the socks off of it because it has not recovered from this fall. And like the Dow's still down 16 points. So it sometimes matters what a single stock can do for your portfolio. And that one this year has been Novavax. I mean, if we go take a look at Novavax, let's just go over to our portfolio, take a look at that real quick. Novavax, just kind of get an idea of what it's done this year. So let's take a quick look at that. Let's go ahead and go to the year-to-date chart, or let's just do a whole year chart. Let's just go back to the year-to-date here. So the year-to-date, you can see that this thing was $4.49 at the beginning of the year, right? And now we are all the way up to $17.05. So that's a pretty good return from there to there, 449 to 1705. And when you got, if that's one of your main stocks, which it was, that was one of my main holdings that I had. When that's one of your main holdings, it can really help you in a down market. And it helped tremendously since the fall especially, but the whole year it's done great. So that's something to think about when you're buying stocks too. I have a lot of stocks, but there's certain ones that I'm heavy in a lot of times that I've got more money in, and I do that because I have more confidence maybe in those than I do others, or maybe I've been holding them longer and I've cost averaged them and got more and more shares as they dropped, and I would buy more and more shares. So I end up with a large share count and a large investment. Okay, that's kind of like what I've got going with U.S. Steel right now. That's one of my large investments as well, and probably what's going to end up as a large investment will be my MPC before it's over with, because I'll be adding to that one as I can as well. So, but right now it's U.S. Steel is probably my biggest holding, and so we'll keep an eye on that one. Hopefully, that one will be the next year's Novavax. That's what I'm kind of counting on. But always have your money spread out, but don't be afraid to cost average, and that's what I've been doing with some of mine with this market drop. I'm going to continue to do that. You can't do it all, because you don't want to get all your cash in stocks that might be down for you, because if you get all your if you're like me, if you get all your money in these stocks that you cost averaged on, then you really don't have any money to trade with either. So you got to keep enough cash to trade so you can make these these deals on every week, much like not just sitting there waiting for the market to turn so your stocks go up, or waiting for a stock to turn. So you want to have cash so you can trade in the market, and that's keeps you busy. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on in the market, and I want to talk to you a little bit about oil and what's going on with oil as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. As you can see here, we've got OPEC did have a meeting, and they finalized their oil production levels. It looks like they're going to cut the oil by 9.7 million barrels. So we'll be looking at oil prices and trying to see how that's going to affect the oil prices, and watch our MPC. And I've mentioned this before, but MPC, and a lot of times MPC, and you'll see something like U.S. Steel, they move kind of at the same time. We'll see if that happens tomorrow. If this is good news for the oil, also helps the steel products as well. We'll check into that. Let's see what's going on in the market for the night as well. Hang on just a second. Let's see. Looks like we've got a possible red day tomorrow to start out. Again, this is just futures, and it just changes throughout the night, so we're not positive that's the way it's going to go. It says how Dow futures slide more than 100 points as investor weighs coronavirus and oil outlook. Of course, that's the same thing that's been weighing for the last 2 or 3 weeks, so we'll see how that goes. Let's go ahead and take a look at Asia, see what's going on with Asia. Asia markets, looks like Nikkei is unchanged. It looks like maybe they're not open yet. Only one open right now is Hong Kong, and it's in the green by 1.38%. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. Kind of early still. Oil. Let's take a look at oil since we have this news here. Let's go ahead and see what our oil is doing. Okay, we got a little bit of green. It's just a tad. It's kind of flat. Oil prices are flat after OPEC and allies agreed to historic production cuts. So they're historic production cuts, but not getting a whole lot out of anything right here. But you never know. Come tomorrow, we shall see how that does. But the market's going to do what it's going to do. It's going to be volatile. We saw a little bit of that Friday. So we're going to just keep an eye on that volatility, look for opportunities on the dips to buy, look for opportunities on the peaks to sell. Got a a little bit of that Novavax left, so if we get a good pop in Novavax, we may sell the other shares that we have. And then again, if it draws back, we may be adding to it. So 13.50, 14.50, somewhere in that range is where I'd like to get back in with my first dip back into it. So we'll watch for those levels, and we'll just play it by ear. I mean, if it holds up well, we may have to change the strategy on that a little bit and maybe pay a little bit more for it. But we'll see. I like to get a little dip in it before I go and buy it again. Same with the DIA. We're out of that now. Waiting on the dip. Same with SPY. We're out of that now. So we're waiting on the dips for those two. Now we've got the VTI still, and we've got the QQQ. We're waiting on those to turn green. And so maybe a week or so off on that, depending on how the market goes. But may cost average those a little bit if we get some dips too. So those are things we plan on doing next week, is just again looking for some dips in some of the stuff that we've already sold, and possibly some dips in the things that we're holding. And hopefully we'll have another good week. Last week was a wonderful week. If we can get another week like that, I've been expecting this market to pull back. It's really fooled me last week, but I'm fine with that. I'd sooner it keep going up. Nothing wrong with it going up either. But if you haven't subscribed, I appreciate it. We have picked up a couple of new subscribers, and I really appreciate that. Continue to watch the videos. Let your friends know about the videos, and hopefully we'll have a great week this week. And I'll see you probably Tuesday night sometime, and we'll talk about Monday and Tuesday. And other than that, have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe if you're in the Alabama area. We've got a lot of storms going on. I know Mississippi had some too, so just be safe and get in your shelter if there's a warning in your area. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye. To subscribe, click the button in the right-hand corner. Thank you.